let's move now to the southeast, where we turn our focus to Anambra State, where the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, finds itself under mounting pressure out of the governorship elections. Once a dominant force in the state, APGA now faces a storm of challenges that could redefine its political future. Just last week, we spoke to the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, who claims the people of the state had lost hope in the government of the day. But today, we will get reactions to this comment from the party in power in the state. Joining us for this discussion is Mazi Ejimofor Opara, National Publicity Secretary, All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. Thank you so much for joining us. Your face cap says solution is here. How true is it that there is solution in Anambra State, especially going by a conversation with the Labour Party governorship candidate who joined us last week, saying that it's high time APGA, leaves the scene?
Okay, good morning. I don't know if you can hear me loud and clear, because I can hear you very well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, thanks for having me. Well, like you rightly said, you can see solution is here. And this is beyond a mantra. It is a statement of fact. It's a statement that is derived from the reactions and the feelers that we get from the streets of Anambra State, from every town, village, community in Anambra State. And it's exactly what it is. Back to your question, well, I wouldn't know who you refer to as the Labour Party governorship candidate, or who. I don't know which of them. Is it the first or the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth one? Because I wouldn't know. I would like to actually channel my question to, some very organized body of persons, not some makeshift special purpose vehicles that do not even have an inch of space in the state. So much of these people just speak for the sake of speaking. And of course, that is what we are. It's an election, and it's the season. People will come up with all sorts just to also justify their own stand. But the reality on ground, and I'm sure most of the men have actually, come to take a tour of what's happening in the state. The state is experiencing an unprecedented transformational development. And this is not just something that we say. It is something that when we say, we'll tell you, go and verify. So I wouldn't know where to start from, but there are, a myriad of sectors, because the current administration of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo and the APGA government in Anambra State is doing so much, and if you'd like, with less. They are doing so much that has, been able to transform the lot of the people across every class, of the society. I would like to, make you to understand one thing today. In your intro, just to make some corrections. APGA is not facing any storm. As a matter of fact, it's a statement of fact that as of today in Nigeria, APGA is the most stable political party. I'm not sure the Labour Party person who made that claim can say that of their party.
All right,
let me
we are not just, I was talking about stable. I didn't want to interject earlier on, but we're talking about Dr. George Moghalu, who joined us last week. But then again, we would like to continue this conversation, so please just give us a little bit more time. We have to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll focus more on APGA, plus looking at the gubernatorial elections, which is coming up pretty soon. And then you can also react to Dr. George Moghalu's statements made earlier on the show. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still speaking with Mazi Ejimofor Opara, the National Publicity Secretary for the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. Welcome back, Mazi. Before we went on the break, you were asking which of the Labour Party gubernatorial candidates we're speaking about. And we did clarify with you that we're talking about Dr. George Moghalu, who joined us last week. And he did speak, talk about the strength of their party in preparation to the Anambra gubernatorial election. So can you please respond? Because you said you needed to know who we're speaking about in particular to give your answer.
Okay, well, if you say he's the Labour Party gubernatorial candidate, congratulations to him. But the much I know, there are about 3 or 4 who are, laying claim to such a position. But that's an aside. And just to put it in context, Anambra is on a pedestal of, progressive growth. And like I would say, many other media, that what makes this particular epoch in Anambra State very unique is that the governor, Professor Charles Soludo, is routing in on the state some developments that I define as never before seen. This is a state that, upon the assumption of office of this government, much of the part of the southern part of the state were under siege by non-state actors, criminal elements, who threatened the peace and security of that state, of the region, of that part of the state, and maybe a part of the north of Baru. But in less than 3 years, these criminal elements have been routed out, and the state has established a novel approach to fighting criminality. Having established the Anambra State Homeland Security Law, which gave birth to a security outfit known as APGA, a community policing structure that works effectively hand in hand with the formal policing structures, to fight crime and nip it at the bud. Within Anambra, in the last 2 months, the statistics are very rife, and they have actually proven that Anambra is the safest state in Nigeria today. Knowing that no one gunshot has been at Anambra in the last 2 months, this is quite unprecedented. Then we go to maybe the infrastructural spectrum of what is happening in Anambra State. Today in Anambra, we came and we met a road crisis. And when we met this road crisis, we didn't bother to begin to complain or begin to make excuses. Mr. Governor faced it head on. And I can tell you that in less than 3 years of this government, over 754 kilometers of road have been awarded, and about 462 of these 754 have been fully completed, asphalted, at a speed that you can liken for, 10 kilometers, averagely every month. And this is exactly, what you see from a government that came prepared. And let me tell you, these roads come in a quality that most persons have actually, most of them have actually said is among, something that is unprecedented. You look at a road that has what we call stone base, subcement stabilization before the asphalting, with a warranty to last for not less than 20 years. This is a state that is currently, giving every young person in the state free, qualitative, basic education from nursery school to secondary school, free, totally free. You just come bring your child to school and they are trained, by the best of teachers. Knowing also that this government has recruited in less than 5 months of its assumption of office, 8,115 qualified teachers. And the last time we checked, these teachers were drawn from across 18 states of the Federation. It tells you how competitive the process was and how merit-based the process was. So this is a government that is, I tell people that Governor Soludo will be re-elected in November 2025, not for any other reason, but for his sterling, on the strength of his sterling performance. On the strength of his sterling performance, because when he came on board, he had a manifesto called the People's Manifesto, with a supporting document known as the Anambra State 2070, a 50-year development plan, which of course he chaired as the chairman during 2019, itemizing the developmental pathways for the state for the next 50 years. And what you're seeing in the state are the foundational works, if you like, of that 50-year development plan. And the government has interventions and focuses on about 5 core pillars. You talk about governance, rule of law, human capital development. You talk about environment. You talk about law and order. You talk about security and all that. These 5 core pillars are the areas of focus for this government, and Mr. Governor is not sleeping on any of them. Everything about the government is moving at a speed that most people are beginning to ask, is this man from the moon? But it tells you the quality of leadership that APGA has been able to produce for the state. In the last 22 years, it has been that progressive stability, progressive growth from one administration to another. It keeps getting better. So when people tell you, when someone comes to say that APGA in Anambra State has not done, it's laughable, because it doesn't reflect the reality of the people's understanding or the people's appreciation of what APGA has done in the last 22 years for them. And let alone, that Governor Soludo has come about to take it, notches higher. This is the state where the governor has constructed and equipped 5 brand new general hospitals. This is the state where we had the biggest urban slum in Southeast Nigeria, if not West Africa, known as Opuku. In less than 3 years, the governor has regenerated this urban slum such that Opuku today you have over 15 kilometers of well-constructed roads, a brand new general hospital that was never in existence there, solar street lights everywhere, public water system and all that. The achievements of Soludo in 3 years is such that as you're saying one, another is trying to jump out of your head and out of your mouth. So you would necessarily be very, very coordinated and very, painstaking for you to reel them out.
Thank you, Mazi. I would like to come in here, and I believe the campaigns haven't started. You reeled out quite a lot of laudable initiatives that Governor Soludo has done in Anambra State, but I believe elections are a referendum for the people to decide, and in November, Anambrarians will decide if they will give him a pass mark so as to continue another 4-year mandate or not. Currently speaking, I want to ask you if APGA still, traditionally APGA has always had a stronghold in Anambra State. The numbers can tell, we can tell from the history. But do you still enjoy that stronghold? Is APGA still a stronghold in Anambra State, given that 2 of the 3 senators representing Anambra State in the National Assembly, in the Senate, are from the Labour Party, and you just dismissed the claim of Dr. Mogalu as if the Labour Party is not a significant threat to APGA in the upcoming elections. If, as you claim, APGA is still a stronghold in Anambra State, then why do you lack representation in the National Assembly, if you're so popular with the people?
Well, first of all, let me state it very categorically and without mincing words that in Anambra State, APGA is a religion. It's a religion that the people hold so tenaciously. There's this sentimental attachment the people of Anambra have with APGA. And, to also dispel your assertion that APGA lacks representation at the National Assembly, that is not true.
In the Senate,
today we have about 5 to... No. Yeah, we have about 5, Federal House of Reps members, in the National Assembly, the current 10th Assembly. We also have a senator from APGA South, Sultan Baribe, who is also a senator on the platform of APGA. You see, I tell people that APGA is that phoenix that once it burns, it recreates itself. And in Anambra, the Anambra electorate is a very sophisticated electorate. When it comes to making decisions, they are very objective about it. They don't make the people of Anambra are not attached to APGA because for subjective reasons alone. No, their decision or their decision to remain with APGA is born out of objective and verifiable reasons. Not so much on the fact that APGA has provided for the state in the last 22 years, very visible and tangible progressive development. And this is verifiable. You go to the state, you see the quality of infrastructure, the quality of effort, the quality of governance that is going on in the state. And you tell yourself, who changes a winning team? The people are actually very, very comfortable with us. We've not lost any inch of our grounds. And I tell you, you talk about representation in the National Assembly or some persons, the 3 out of, the 3 senators in Anambra today, and being of
Labour Party.
2 being a Labour Party, and the other one, the late Senator Ifeanyi coming from the YPP, then later joined the APC before his demise. And I'll tell you that you profile each of these individuals, they have, some undeniable affiliation with APGA, very undeniable. So, probably you can look at them and say they are, I wouldn't say one and the same, but they are offshoots of, of APGA. And when push comes to shove, they know where they belong. And this is a fact. When push comes to shove, they know where they belong.
It's not a fact. They clearly left APGA a while ago. And you could say that to a number of politicians that were former PDP or APC. You won't. Their current affiliation is what matters. They're card-carrying members of the Labour Party, and they remain members of the Labour Party.
Now, what gives you that? What gives you the actual pillars of dominance, grassroots dominance of the party, is when you come to the state assembly. Of the 30 seats in the state assembly, APGA occupies over 22 of that seat. It tells you how predominantly grassrooted APGA is in the state. Like I said, some of these elections, Anambra is one of the states that experiences off-cycle elections. And when it comes to such federal arrangement, federal elections, maybe general elections, there could be some upset due to some other reasons, which I wouldn't want to go into in this conversation. But it doesn't vitiate the fact that in the grassroots, Anambra is APGA and APGA is Anambra. And let me add also that in the build-up to the November 2025 elections, and even in the build-up to the primaries, let me leave the elections on the sidelines. Governor Soludo emerged as the consensus candidate of the Anambra, not just APGA alone. There is a unanimous call, a unanimous decision of both the people and the critical stakeholders of Anambra State that Governor Soludo must return for a second term in office, and strictly on the basis of his sterling performance. If you come, that day we had students, the student union bodies in the state who came together to, to mobilize themselves and even resources, about 2 billion naira, which they donated to the governor's campaign. And we have the entire youth body in Anambra State, but that have also come together to say, Mr. Governor, we're supporting you and we're mobilizing resources, not just by saying, just by word of mouth, but we are committing our resources to this cause. As of today, there are over 60 support groups with membership totaling more than 120,000 persons who are voluntarily pushing the cause for Soludo's return for second term. Talk about religious bodies, talk about, the community leaders, past and present, have all come together to say, Soludo, you are the man, to continue on this. And you ask yourself, who is left? So it's as a matter of fact, from Soludo's emergence as the candidate of APGA it was almost inevitable, for the party, and that was why, within the party, he was a lone candidate because the totality of the party's membership and leadership agreed, and nobody came forth to even purchase the form. And rather, they were contributing money to, for him to purchase the form for him and say, go contest. We're not contesting with you, and you are doing excellently well. And these are a vote of confidence on your excellent leadership in the last 3 years. So that's exactly where we are, with regards to the electioneering in Anambra State and the build up to the elections.
All right, Mr. Opara, what's your take on APC? Because there seem to be fears that APC is running and looking forward to have a one-party state. Are there any fears that this probably may be the only term for Governor Soludo?
Anyway, what I would say is very simple. You see, as far as Anambra State is concerned, APC is a department of APGA. And I can take up this debate with anybody, any of their critical stakeholders, anyone who cares to take up the debate. They will come and the facts will speak for themselves. So I just want to keep it at that. That APC has no inch of control in Anambra. APC Anambra State. They're just a department of APGA, and at the end of the day, the progressives will work together. And the much I can tell you is that they are working for the emergence of Professor Soludo. So there's no such thing as a one-state capture or anything. It is the people's vote. The people would vote, and every vote would count. And once that happens, you should rest assured that it's going to be, go APGA's way.
At the end of the day, regardless of what political party is in power, what we want is the best for the Anambra. Thank you so much, Mazi, for joining us this morning on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.